I believe in life, the way we think about things really causes our results. When I first started this journey in entrepreneurship, I did not even think about the possibilities of what could really happen and where it can really go. All I knew is that I did something pretty well, and I knew I didn't want to be working for someone else for the rest of my life. I saw my mom working hard. I mean, hard, where she's always had more than one job or sometimes more than two jobs. She was always on the go. She's an amazing person in spirit and in truth. However, she worked hard from the beginning of time all the way until her retirement at over 66 years of age was when she finally decided to say, okay, that's enough. But the key in all of that, what it taught me was I had to start working within where I had power. And where I have power is my mindset. Where I have power are my thoughts. And when I lead with negativity, when I lead with doom, when I lead with things that are not going to happen or work out well, then guess what? Things don't work out well. But if I begin to start practices that helps me to be in a state of calm, be in a state of clarity, be in a state where I actually feel positively great, high vibrational energy, where I feel like if only good can come, only the best can happen out of this. I mean, it's a natural high that I take myself into. But it's not always so easy to do that because we are surrounded mostly by negativity. If we look around us, we turn on the news, we see negativity. If we open a newspaper, we see negativity. And sometimes just the people who we hang out with, they always go towards what's negative first. So how about we start turning things around? How about we start moving towards where we can actually be positive? We can actually think that good is going to happen, and that we actually think that the best things can happen out of the worst situations. How about we give that a try and see where it takes us? Like when I began to realize that if I intentionally shifted my mindset and shifted my mood and shifted my thoughts in the morning. Now, don't get me wrong. Y'all know I parent a son on the autism spectrum. You know that I'm constantly going through different types of trials and challenges and breakdowns. But if I stayed there, then I would realize it would impact everything else in my world. It would impact my day. It would impact how I served as a speech pathologist and audiologist. It would impact my business just from having negative thoughts and negative and heaviness around other things happening in my life. So I began to start with what's closer to me. What's immediate to me is my son. What's even more immediate is myself. I started doing meditation. I started making sure when it didn't feel right, I didn't move. I just stopped and I laid down. I take a break. I would dream. I would visualize. I would just start thinking, what about if something good happens? What about if the positive comes out of this? When I intentionally felt negative, I made myself. I literally told myself and I heard myself. When it would come out, I would go, up. That's not going to help me. That's not going to serve me. How about I shift that towards the other direction? When I began to hear no, and I began to hear can't, and I began to hear all the really negative sounds towards certain things. And sometimes you can say the most positive things, but have the most negative thoughts and actions behind it. So start with the mind. Start with the mentee. How about for the next 7 days, you write down your first three thoughts in the morning. Start noticing and observing what are your first three thoughts in the morning. What are your first three thoughts in the morning that then shapes the rest of your day? Write it down. Don't change them. Just get up in the morning and think, what are your first three thoughts? And then also get clear on what are your three last thoughts in the night. What are your three last thoughts in the night? Yeah, I live in New York, so you're always going to hear stuff around me. I've learned to totally ignore that. I've learned to stop thinking about the negative with that. I've learned to start thinking that something good is going to happen out of this. Let's start doing the action work. Let's start doing the things to start shifting the results. You want to see maximum results in your personal life? You want to see maximum results with your children and or in your business? Then everything first starts with you. Don't think it's everyone else. Stop blaming everyone else. Start taking full control over the one thing that you have full control of. Take that finger, turn it around, and point it directly at me. Get to work. Write down the 7 things as soon as you wake up in the morning, as soon as you go to bed, before you go to bed at night. What are those 3 thoughts that you're thinking? Once you start looking at them at the end of the week, then you'll start to see where do you need to start shifting, and how can you intentionally shift some of those thoughts throughout the day. It's your girl, Dr. Ali Griffith, just giving you some shift your mindset tips, tools, and techniques that you can try, and then let me know how it works for you.